Hey everybody, it's Old School Heart back with another video for you guys. So today's video is going to be a little bit different. Queen Sugar you can expect on Thursday morning. It comes back on tomorrow night, of course. Last week we missed it because of the presidential debate. So if you haven't gotten a chance to already, please check out the reviews that I did for episode 6 and 7. And then if you need a full review, go all the way back to 1 if you'd like. If you haven't already gotten a chance, I've started a new playlist, and that's going to be Run That Back, and that's basically going to be all the news for the week, top news, news from our community, and whatever I just feel like discussing. And then if you haven't gotten a chance to already, I also will create a playlist for the album reviews that I have done. I do have a couple that I want to do. I just haven't had a chance to thoroughly listen to the music. And so that's important to me to make sure I listen to it a couple of times and give you a very thorough review. But if you haven't gotten a chance to already, Solange and I did Tamala Man's video. If you have a new album that you want me to take a listen to and give my honest opinion, leave me a comment below. Please remember to like and subscribe and share this video with others. And let me know what you would like me to review. I can review a number of things. I haven't tapped off into different food and things of that nature yet, but I saw the other day that they have that new chicken and waffles things, and I was thinking about doing a review for that. So let me know if you want to see me do a review for that as well. So today is going to be something different. I'm sure we're all aware of Nate Parker's Birth of a Nation that came out probably about a month ago. Was almost leaning towards a month. And then we had Tyler Perry's Madea that came out last weekend. And so I've been seeing lately on Twitter as well as Facebook and Instagram, people posting that if you went to see Boo's Madea and you didn't go see Nate Parker's A Birth of a Nation, it shows something like it shows who you are or what you're about or how effed up society really is. So I just wanted to talk about that a little bit because I think that there's a point in this whole debate or discussion that we are totally missing. Now, I did go see Birth of a Nation. I did a review on Birth of a Nation. I loved Birth of a Nation. I'm a big fan of history. I'm a big fan of Black history. And every time there is a moment that someone takes out, whether it be a documentary, whether it be music or a movie, I'm all for it. So I went to see it the day before it came out. There was an organization called Connection 360 here in Chicago. Shout out to them who hosted this, and they're a Black organization that has different DVDs and things that you can buy of African culture. So I went to see it with my dad the day before. I have not seen Tyler Perry's Madea, Boo Madea Halloween movie. Mainly because I'm going to be honest, I don't really care for Halloween movies anyway. So I wasn't, even though I like Tyler Perry, I'm not really into that. But I want to say this whole debate that we put against each other is kind of upsetting to me. And I will say it's upsetting to me because can two intelligent, talented Black men exist in Hollywood? Is that possible? And I'm leaving that up for discussion. That is something I want to see a lot of people respond on and give their own answers to. But can two Black men successfully be in Hollywood at the same time? And the reason why I say this is because I was looking at a couple of different people talk about this issue. And one person has said in particular that, it was quite a conspiracy or a tactic that Tyler Perry's movie came out around the same time of Nate Turner's movie. I mean, Nate Parker's movie that came out. And how they were saying that that was just like sabotages to Nate's movie. Now, with both of those men being two black writers, producers, directors, and starring in the movie, are we really losing out on either or? Is the big question to me. And please leave your comment on that as well, because, in my opinion, I don't think that we're losing out. Um, did I feel like I needed to support Nate Parker more in this situation? Yes, but I needed to support Nate because this was his first time coming. He first time making a movie, not being in a movie, but first time making a movie. The controversy behind it only fueled me to see it even more. I love the storyline and I was very intrigued by the storyline. But the thing that made me want to go see it the most is how hard he worked to get this movie put out here. He even said in an interview, "Hey, if nobody was going to pick this movie up so that it can, go across the United States and into your theaters, this would have been on YouTube." And so I just found it just amazing that he was like, "Look, if I can't get anybody to buy this movie was going to come out. This was something that was burning inside me." So I loved that and I respected him for that. And so that's the reason why I went to see it. But I find it very funny that we're pitting these two against each other. I will say this. If you do not know, let me just give you a little bit of a background of who Tyler Perry is, because we already know at this time who Nate Parker is, what he's played in, what he's done. But let me just go back so you know who Tyler Perry is. And I'm not saying that you have to agree or that you have to like any of the movies that he's come out with. Um, I have not watched The Have and Have Nots. I have not watched any of the other shows that are on that he's doing right now. The last Tyler Perry movie that I saw in theaters might have been the one with Kerry Washington in it, and I can't even think of the name of that one, but that was probably the last one that I saw. So if you are just not a fan of his, you're just not a fan of his. But I will say this. Tyler Perry took a spot in theater that nobody had took in quite a while. And he started off, we know, doing plays around the U.S. And an audience that is very slept on, that nobody thinks about, is the African American male, female Christian audience. And he tapped into this audience with his plays. I think what happened is that people forgot that these people like going out. They're not always at church. They're not always sitting at home either. They want to attend stuff just like everybody else, but they want to make sure that it's clean and it's friendly and it's something relatable. And so when Tyler came out with, I think his first play was I Can Do Bad All By Myself. If that wasn't his first one, then his first one was the one that he had Kimberly Elise in, and I can't think of the name of that one, but that was a play at first before it became a movie. However, he had a lot of success in that. And see, there weren't that many playwrights, African American playwrights at the time. I know David E. Talbot was really big at that time, and so he kind of fed from that market. August Wilson was still doing plays, but August represented an educated college graduate African American group of people, and not so much uh, uh, I don't want to say a lower class, but I guess I can't. A lower class. I don't want to say lower class either, but I would say middle and low class people is who Tyler Perry marketed towards. And that was a market that was forgotten about. It was forgotten about in regular TV, and damn sure it was forgotten in movies. And so to me, it's hard to have this argument about Tyler Perry and his work and what he's done, and for people to not realize that Tyler Perry was strategic in choosing his market. And guess what he got? Tyler Perry got a loyal fan base from his movies. These people related, and whether you agree with it or not, him putting on a dress and a wig and breast and all that other stuff, whether you agree with that or not, he relates to a lot of people. There aren't a lot of people, especially now. I'm from Chicago, so a lot of my family migrated from Mississippi. Everybody had a Madea in their family, or everybody had somebody that related to a Madea in his family. Now, could he have chosen someone else to be that Madea? Could he have chosen a female? You can make that argument. Yes, he could have, but instead he decided to do that. But you cannot hate on a man who found a market and a loyal market and has supported him since his first play. This man's play went across the United States, and they paid for him to be a filmmaker. And when he tapped into that filmmaking process, they in turn paid for him to have his own theater uh, company, like MGM, like Warner's, and things of that nature. And so if you have a loyal fan base like that, you can't hate on that. We can't say, oh, well, the white people just love the coonery, and that's why people have went to see that. First of all, let's just be real. When Tyler Perry first came out, let's just break this down. When Tyler Perry first came out, I don't remember seeing that many white people in the theaters. I don't think we saw white people in the theaters, plays, is this what I'm talking about. I don't think we saw them until after he came out with his first and second movie. Then when he went back to the theaters, then we started seeing those white people. So to be honest, the people that helped that man get to stardom was Christian black men and women. And like I said, you can make any argument you want about that man dressing and costume and how you feel about that. And if you don't like it, you don't like it. But that's who he marketed to. And to be really honest, men were supporting it at first. Now, over the years, a lot of them have fell off, and it's mostly black women and white women that are going to see this. But to begin with, it was black women and men. Um, I'm a radio TV graduate, and so one of the things that we talked a lot about Um, is marketing. And one of the things that I thought about as well is when Spike Lee came out, Spike Lee's audience for the majority of his movies were not geared towards the black female and male Christian population. His market was geared towards black women and men who were college graduates. You don't hear a lot of Spike Lee tapping into that field. Now, there are certain movies that black women and men love. So I will say this: they loved Crooklyn because Crooklyn was a family oriented movie. They loved Malcolm X was one that they kind of appreciated and kind of went to the theaters to see. But if you just look at like Bamboozled, a movie like that, or She's Gotta Have It, which was his first movie, or Mo Better Blues, those movies were geared towards more of an educated audience, and it lacked what would appeal to black women and men that were Christians. Um, I'm trying to think of another one. Okay, and then let's talk about like the early '90s as well, where you had F. Gary Gray, where you had The guy who made Poetic Justice, I cannot think of his name right now. I keep wanting to say John Legend. Clearly, it's not. I can't think of his name, but leave me a comment below if you remember his name. But those men tapped into a market that wasn't geared towards the black educated or the black Christian. They marketed toward your everyday black male audience that knew the struggle of living in violence in South Central and places like that. So you have different people who marketed to different things, you know. Um, the Wayans brothers, they were just comedy, so they marketed to their own type of an audience. And so I guess my point is to this whole thing is there's room for everybody to eat. I don't think that there needs to be a comparison. And to be honest, if there were more black producers and directors, then I'm sorry, but they're going to market around the same time. If there were more, what we see is that there's more white people, whatever. And they're always, to be honest with you, white people are always competing against each other because their stuff comes out more. So to just say, oh, well, this was strategic or whatever, if we had black female and male directors and producers out more, then there would be a competition in between the two. And then there would be a competition between a comedy and a slavery movie like this. So to me, I think it's important to know the market. I think it's important to know stats. And I think it's important to know that I think that you can, like for me, I can do both. I can look at both and I can be fine. I'm not pitting one up against another because, to be honest, there's a whole nother audience who's like, I don't want to see another slavery movie. Even though this one was us being victorious, this showed a strong black man, and it wasn't just about defeat or anything like that. But there were some black people who said, I just don't want to see it anymore. So you have those people too who said, give me something where we just have strength and we don't have struggle, which will be a hard movie to market. But at the same time, you know, there are some people who don't care for that. There's another thing too. A lot of kids go see movies. A lot of teenagers go see movies. If you hadn't talked to them about Nate Parker's Birth of a Nation movie and who Nat Turner was, they're not going to go see that movie. They were born in the era where Tyler Perry was coming up. Tyler Perry's first play was like 99. It might have even been before then. But he got big about the 2000 era. So they know and are familiar with Tyler Perry. They're not familiar with somebody that their teacher is not teaching them. So that if you didn't personally sit them down and teach them that, then they're going to be more than likely to go see Tyler Perry before they go see Birth of a Nation. So you have to think about that too. If you're not teaching, or if you didn't teach, or after you went to see that movie, if you didn't at least post, everybody go see that movie. Or if you didn't say I loved it and you didn't give a review on it like I gave a review. And I'm not saying that you have to do this. If you gave word of mouth, I love this movie, you need to go see it. Then people didn't go see it. And then there was controversy, which acquitted is acquitted. And that's just how I feel. And I read the transcripts and God rest her soul, but she didn't make any sense. But I'm just saying, like, I think that there's room at the table for everybody to eat. I'm not saying that you have to like Tyler Perry, but you have to respect his hustle. And I will say this, for a black man to have his own studio in Atlanta, hire black background people to do everything. Look for black people on YouTube and Facebook and hire them